Christmas Eve if you celebrate Christmas. I think my timing was off because I didn't think we were going to record again until after Christmas, but I was wrong. So Merry Christmas Eve if you celebrate. I am Robin.
I am Mary.
And we are the Cherry Purls podcast. This is episode 74. You can find me as Teenybutton on Instagram and Ravelry, and my Etsy shop is Teenybutton Studio, where I sell hand-dyed yarn.
I am Snippin' Full on Ravelry, and on Instagram, I am Cherry Purls Mary.
And we have a podcast group that is where you can find all the links to everything that we're going to talk about today. That's going to be found at our
in the podcast group.
In our podcast group. It is Cherry Purls Podcast, and it's linked down below. Tried to mix it up today, and that's what I get for trying to go off the script.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so we have a couple of announcements. We're going to talk about our current knit-along, announce a new one. We have coupon codes and some finished objects and some whips. We're going to talk about our recent trip to New York that we took last week, and we're going to show you all some video from some of the stores we visited. And then we're going to wrap it all up with a question and a shop update section, which isn't really a shop update section.
Just a little bit of shop news.
I just realized I didn't grab the skein I want to show y'all, so I'm going to pause here. I'll be right back. All right, we're all good now.
Think so?
Yes. So we have a knit-along to talk about, so I'll talk about the current one, you talk about the next one?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so wrapping up in just about a week is going to be the Socks in Space knit-along that we are co-hosting with Candace at the Pin, Feathers, and Pearls podcast, who we love.
We do.
So that's going to wrap up again at the end of the month. You have to knit a pair of socks. They can be any size, any weight, but they have to be socks, and they have to be space-themed, either by yarn or by pattern. If you're a quick knitter and you can knit a pair of socks in a week, go for it. If not, sorry it's late. We'll probably do it again next year. But
yeah, this is the second year we've done.
Yes. So Candace is hosting the chatter thread. We are hosting the finished objects thread. And we do have some prizes. I don't have them with me to show, but I am going to be donating a skein of my Alonzi colorway, or Alonzi for those Doctor Who fans. That's what you knit your socks out of.
Yes, it is.
So that's cool. Whips do not count, unfortunately, and you do have to be a member of both podcast groups to win a prize. So we'll link down in the down bar, the episode. Words are hard today. The link to our podcast group. We have a link to Candace's group as well in that.
Show notes.
Show notes, yeah. So that's where you can find all the information for that. But it's wrapping up soon. It's been really fun. I finished my pair of socks this week, so you know, I call this knit-along a success so far.
Sure, I agree.
Yeah. So, did I forget anything about that, or is it?
I think you covered everything.
Okay. Yeah.
The second knit-along is one that's getting ready to start, and this will also be the second year that we are doing this knit-along, and it will be the Krewe of Yarnuius KAL. This is to celebrate the season of Mardi Gras, which happens down here in New Orleans and South Louisiana, Mobile, and there's a couple other places. But anyway, it'll be same rules as last year. You need to knit something that is either has purple, green, or gold in it. The entire project does not need to be of any of those colors, and it can be just one of those colors.
Yeah, there needs to be a substantial amount, like more than a couple of stitches, but it doesn't have to be the whole.
Yeah, and we need to be able to see in the picture that you post in the finished objects thread that it does indeed have purple, green, or gold in it. Doesn't need to be all three.
Yes.
Whips will be counted.
Yeah.
The project that you post in the finished object thread needs to be a complete project, so it can't just be a blanket square
Or a single sock.
or a single sock. So if you're making socks, it needs to be a pair of socks. If you do a blanket square, it has to be a completed blanket.
Yeah. Last year we had somebody ask if they could spin. You absolutely can spin or crochet or, you know, whatever yarn craft you want to do. We just asked that for spinners it has to be at least 0.7 ounces of fiber. I'm not sure where we came up with that number, but that's the number we used last year, so we're just going to use it again.
Yeah, it will be same rules as last year,
Yes.
and we will post those rules by the time this podcast goes up.
Yes.
We will go ahead and have a
Start
chatter
thread.
thread started.
Ooh, we are co-hosting it.
Yeah, well, I hadn't gotten to that.
Oh,
yet.
oops.
And that way you'll have the rules in front of you. This year we are adding a co-host,
Woo.
and that is the Sunshine and Bubblegum podcast. They are local to us, and so we wanted to bring them in and co-host this with us. So we'll do kind of similar to what we're doing with Candace of the Pin Feathers and Pearls and the Socks and Space is that one group will host the chatter thread and one group will do the finished objects thread. And so since I made the comment about how we'll have the chatter thread up by the time this comes up, I'm assuming we'll do the chatter thread and we'll get them to do the finished objects thread. Yes. And it will be similar also in that you need to be a member of both podcast groups to be eligible for a prize. Yeah. And this will start on January 6th, which is just King's Day. That is the day that supposedly the kings arrived to meet baby Jesus. And will run through Mardi Gras Day, which will be February 13th.
That's the start of the Mardi Gras season.
Yes, so the first parades roll on King's Day, and it all ends on Mardi Gras Day. It's a short season this year.
Yeah, Mardi Gras is the 13th of February.
Yeah, last year I think Mardi Gras was the 28th, so we had quite a few number of weeks added on to that, but it just kind of depends on when Easter falls. So anyway,
we're going to run it till the middle of February or to the end of February?
We run it through Mardi Gras. That's
through Mardi Gras? Okay.
Yeah. So it starts on January 6th and it ends on Mardi Gras Day.
All right.
So hope everybody is interested in doing it. We had a whole ton of people doing it last year.
It's real open-ended. Like, do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's pretty loose, Cal, in terms of there's a lot of things that could qualify in terms of a finished object. So I think it'll be fun. We had a lot of great entries last year, and I look forward to seeing those again.
Cool beans. I'm excited.
Yep. So we'll have the chatter thread with the rules and everything posted.
Yeah, post pictures of your yarn if you're excited about it or what you're going to knit. Or I like talking to people.
Because we draw from both chatter and finished objects threads.
We do.
All right, I think that's it for that, correct?
Yes, we have coupon codes. Our first coupon code is from designer Kath Thorley. She is offering 20% off of her patterns until March 2018 with the code CherryPearls20. So we'll link to her in the show notes. I also have a coupon code from my pattern, which I happen to have right here.
Is it actually a code?
It is not a code. You don't have to remember anything. You just have to add it to your cart and you get $1 off.
But Robin has a discount, so
a discount. That's a lot. That's a better way to put. It's a much better way to phrase it.
Correct.
So these are my Forbidden Forest socks. I showed them as a finished object last week. They have ribbing on the back and a texture panel on the front, and they are Harry Potter themed. So that'll be linked in the show notes as well. You get $1 off just by adding it to your cart until the end of the month or the end of the year.
Yep.
So that
December 31st.
That is all the administrative stuff that we have.
I think that's correct.
So you ready to jump into finished objects?
Sure. I just have the one.
I have the two. I'll do this one first. Speaking of designs, what are you? Oh, it's just fuzz.
Just fuzz.
This is a hat that I actually finished before last podcast, but I didn't want to show it because the pattern was not published. This is the Stepping Stones hat, which is a pattern that I test knit for Becky Sorensen, who is the Stringing It Together podcast. She is a sweetheart.
Oh, that's a great pattern.
And her pattern is amazing. It's knit in a bulky weight yarn. I use Teenybutton Studio, my new Aran weight base. It's Comfy Aran. It's a cashmere base.
Ooh, that's soft.
Yeah. I held it double, and I got gauged perfectly on the second try, because at first I thought I could hold it single-stranded, like regular, and I don't know what I was thinking. Because it's definitely thicker than worsted, but it's a true Aran weight. So it's not really close to chunky. So I held it double, then I got gauge. The colorway is back in St. Olaf. And there is, I think there's 2 skeins of this in the shop. Actually, no, there's not because the shop is closed. But there will be 2 skeins in the shop whenever it reopens because I don't believe that they've sold. So it is a nice snug fit. I knit the small size. And I really enjoy the fit. And I was thinking about a pom-pom, but I haven't gotten around to getting one yet. But I really like it. It's a very simple texture. It's just knits and purls. And I really enjoyed knitting it. And she intended it as a last-minute Christmas gift. If you still have Christmas gifts to make, some people maybe you don't see them until a couple days after Christmas. I knit this in 2 evenings, but I easily could have done it in 1.
Yeah, it is a bulky weight. So
yeah, and
it's going to knit a lot faster.
I like the texture on the brim. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I like the pattern there.
Yeah, I really like that. So, fantastic pattern. Becky is a sweetheart. She's really been cranking out patterns lately. She has some really cool ones. There's a cowl and hat set that she did that have like a diamond motif. And I kind of want to do that, but I'm worried about color work. but maybe I'll get the courage to do that in the new year.
I think so. Maybe that'll be one of your resolutions.
Yeah, I have a lot of resolutions this year. We'll talk about that on the next episode.
Yeah, I haven't really thought that far.
Well, I have a lot. Larry and I were talking about it today. I have like 8 I can think of off the top of my head.
I can think of 0.
So, I
can think of 1.
Yeah. That is my first finished object. I think I did this on a 9 or a 10.
It'll be in your project.
Yeah, whatever the pattern calls for is what I use. Maybe a 7 or an 8. It's a very dense hat, which is extremely warm. And I should have brought it with me to New York, but I forgot it. But it's very dense, so I really enjoyed knitting it.
Cute.
You want to go next?
Sure. This is the project that I took with me to New York. This is the Winter Companion KAL by Galzine Knits. And it is done in Cascade 220 Superwash Merino. And the 2 colors are Deep Wisteria and it says lemon, but it's not lemon. What is the color? Antique Gold. So on one side, it has got some mosaic color work. And then
that's really pretty. She calls it a Jerusalem cross.
A Jerusalem cross. Gosh, I can't. And then the other side is some more striping and this really cool texture right in here. It's a rib texture.
This smells super good. What wool wash did you use?
The Eucalyptus.
It smells really good.
Yeah. So this is the project I took with me on the airplane. It went really well, except we had an extremely bumpy landing going into New York.
Into LaGuardia was really windy.
Well, a front was coming in, and so we had to change planes in Nashville, and we were late leaving Nashville because they were holding all the flights going into New York because of the wind. And so we left late, and then when we got there, we ended up kind of circling the airport for a while. I don't know if it's because they had people stacked up because they delayed flights or if they, again, were waiting for winds to die down. But the landing seemed like it took forever, and it was very, very bumpy.
Dad got sick.
Yeah.
Dad had a really bad first day of the trip. He was sick like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, the cab driver was nuts. But anyway, I did some of the color work on the plane. Wasn't the best time to do it.
Your tension was off, huh?
My tension was off, and then I also missed some areas that I should have changed colors.
Oh, I can't even see
that. So I had to go back in and do some duplicate stitch when I was finished with it. But if you can't tell, then I did an okay job.
Yeah, and then coming back, we went through Atlanta the day after they had the debacle with the power going out. So flights were not easy on this particular trip.
Yeah, but all the 4 flights that we took, 3 of them were completely full, which is unusual. Yeah. And, we were all packed in there like sardines. But anyway, this was a really fun knit. I enjoyed knitting it. Most of the time when I'm knitting with worsted weight, it's a hat. So it was kind of interesting to knit on something that wasn't a hat and a worsted weight. Yeah. It's a really nice yarn. I bought 2 of the skeins at the Knits by Nana going out of business sale, and then I got 2 more skeins because I wanted to do this in 2 colors. The original pattern calls for 3, and so I bought 2 more skeins from Webs. And I'm sure if you are a viewer of the podcast, you know that I am an LSU fan. So this will be something that I can wear to early baseball games when it's still chilly out, and any other place that I need to. So that's my only finished object for this week.
Fancy.
And it's going to qualify for the indie gift along because it was one of the patterns. I need to post my
keep forgetting to post those stinking mittens.
So that'll be...
Yeah, don't let me forget.
Okay. I'll try to remember to remind you and try to remember to post myself.
Yeah, do it yourself too. Yeah.
So that's my only finished object for this week.
I have a finished object that I cast off mere hours ago because it is Christmas Eve. And the reason why I don't do gift knitting is because I am horrible at knitting on a deadline. So I did finish these with 12 hours to spare. These are Larry's Christmas present. He really likes purple, and he really likes Star Wars. So this is Mustache Yarn in her Leia colorway.
I can't get over how much this matches here.
I know. Yeah. The mini skein is actually a mini skein I won in a giveaway. And it's from Nora George Yarns, but, like, it is seamless. Like, look at that purple. It's perfect. Like, it's ridiculous how close that matches.
Yeah, I can't get over that.
Yeah.
You would think that they came together.
Yeah. And it's actually crazy because I was carrying this around in my knitting bag, and I pulled it out at one point, and I found a mini skein that looked like it, and I'm like, oh, I need to put it back in the bag. And it turns out that was a skein of my Royal Street colorway. So all 3 of those colors are so close, I couldn't tell them apart.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm not sure of the colorway of the purple skein, but I really love how it looks.
I think Larry's going to enjoy these.
Yeah.
He's seen them because he had to
Well,
try
he
them
tried
on.
them on, yeah.
Yeah, he likes an Afterheel thought. Afterthought
heel.
Afterheel thought.
Afterheel thought, yeah.
And so, of course, he had to try them on, so Robin knew where to put the heel.
Yeah. This was actually your Easter present to him.
Mm-hmm.
You bought the yarn. And it was an underweight skein of mustache, which is why they're a little bit short. But it's not.
I don't think they're that short.
Yeah. He's fine with the length. He's fine with it. But usually it's become a tradition that I knit him socks for Christmas. So he got a pair last year, and I think he got a pair the year before. So this is his pair for this year. And then next year, I think, is going to be, we're going to Disney World in less than a month. So I'm going to I have some Toy Story yarn from Peach Queen yarn. So I'm going to go ahead and get a jump on those because I do not like Christmas knitting. That's why I don't do it.
Well, you feel like you get caught up at the end.
Well, that, and like there's not really a whole lot of occasion to wear hand knits down here. And I've knit stuff for his mom and his grandmother. And they use it, but it's just not cold enough, really.
I get it.
Yeah, but I mean, I wear my hand knits because I don't mind. I'm always cold, and I don't mind being a little bit hot to show off my knits, you know. But I wouldn't impose that misery on somebody else.
Well, that's a personal decision, and that's one you go with.
But I cast on 72. No, I cast on 24, increased to 72. I did 74 for his last couple socks, but the 72 fits him okay too. So I think I might do that in the future because those last 2 stitches are any way I can cut down on, you know.
Well, that makes a denser sock.
Yeah. Well,
no, not really. No, never mind.
It's just a slightly tighter fitting.
Going down a needle sock.
Yeah, slightly tighter fitting sock. And he's got skinny ankles, so this fits his ankles better, and they don't bunch up quite so much.
Sounds like a plan.
So he doesn't have skinny ankles, but you know his ankles aren't, you know, as wide as his feet. I mean, most people's aren't. So this helps keep him up. So, and these are on the sock blockers he got me. Cute. Ta-da! So I think I'm going to block these before tomorrow. He's going to be here tomorrow at around noon. So I think 12 hours is enough time to dry. Maybe I'll put the fan on them.
Yeah. Maybe if you hang them instead of laying them flat,
well,
they'll be able to dry both sides.
Yeah. I was going to say I'll keep them on the blockers, but you can hang them on the blockers. So.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. I really like them. I really love the purple heel.
Yeah, I think the purple heel really makes them.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a great colorway.
Yeah. So that, and it's an underweight skein. I think it was 76 ounces. And it was, you know, plenty. I mean, I had 2 or 3 stripes worth left over. So, you know, which is interesting because I always thought his socks used 85 grams, but apparently that was wrong. So.
Well, how much were in the heels?
Oh, I didn't think about that. I'll have to weigh them. I'm kind of curious. Because the underweight skeins are a pretty good deal if you're looking for mustache. Mm-hmm. Not that our stuff is overpriced.
Oh, gosh, no.
But, you know.
But sometimes you don't need a full skein.
Well, some people only use half a skein, only 50 grams for socks. It doesn't make sense to buy a full skein if you can get a pair, you know, even with heels and toes, you know.
Sure, absolutely. That's why we went with that. You thought you would definitely be able to get a pair out of there if you're doing, you know, the heels and toes in a different color.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, works in progress. Yeah, work in progress.
I have a single work in progress, yes.
I have 2 or 3. I have.
Why don't you go again?
Okay. So this is my 3-color cashmere shawl, KAL. 3-color cashmere KAL. I keep saying shawl.
Yeah, you do.
And I was going to try to finish this before New York, and that didn't happen. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to finish it on the trip. And then that didn't happen either. Which is okay, because there's no knitting police.
Nope, not at all.
So this, I think I was at the stripe section last time. So I put, you know, a good chunk into it. And it's like butter. Oh, so soft. I love this yarn so much. So this is a pattern by Joji Locatelli. And the yarn is Ink and Spice.
Yeah.
That's what that is?
I think so. Ink
and Spice in green, slate, and natural. And it's 45% merino, 25 baby alpaca, 15 mulberry silk, and 15% yak. So,
and the colors are green, slate, and neutral.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so not really a whole lot to talk about. I've been weaving in my ends as I go, kind of, because I'm going to have a lot at the end, I think, which is just a natural consequence of this pattern, which is fine.
Well, any time you're changing colors, that happens.
Yeah, but I really like the texture section in the green.
Mm-hmm.
I really like, well, you can't really see. I really like how that looks.
Yeah.
This was my plain knitting for the first flight, but I really think I prefer socks for plain knitting. I really do.
That's why I do vanilla socks.
Yeah. Yeah, so I actually switched to my sock for the second, third, and fourth flight. So nothing wrong with that. Just personal preference.
Sure.
So not a whole lot to see or say, but it's
coming along.
It is coming along, and I'm not too concerned about it. If it takes me another month to finish it, that's fine.
It'll get done.
It's not a high priority project right now. Not that anything is really a high priority, but
only those socks and they're done.
Yeah, only Larry socks and they're done. So
correcto.
That's it. You want to show yours?
Sure. I am continuing to work on the Freeze shawl, and this is a shawl pattern by Lisa Hannes. I showed this last podcast, and
you got some problems here, huh?
And I am all tangled up in the yarn. So this is where I was last podcast, and so I've added this next section of using the two colors. As I talked about last podcast, the shawl originally was done all in this, and I just kind of felt that I didn't really want a shawl that was completely done in all the colors. So I wanted to mix it up a little more, so I'm doing some sections that are in the bare, but still doing the same patterning. So you're getting this nice, really pretty
texture, yeah.
Solid color, but you also get the texture in it. So, yeah, it's coming along. Here's the end, and I'm just going to keep knitting on it till I get close to running out the yarn. The two yarn colors are, this is Teenybutton Studio in Bear, and this is Teenybutton Studio in Unicorns in My Coffee. And
I have dyed up more of that for the first shop update in January because I've had a couple people ask.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on Sparkle.
So it's a really great pattern. I really am enjoying. It's similar to the crossfire that I did. I'm really enjoying the mosaic knitting with all the slip stitches, how it breaks up, a really fun variegated yarn and makes it not as in your face. And it's a great pattern, and I'm enjoying it immensely.
Sure. Very cute.
Yeah. So we'll see how far I get next time I see you. Yeah. It could be finished. I don't know.
Could be not.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll probably record that first weekend in January again. So we'll see. We'll see what gets done. We're going out of town, just me and Mom. So we'll see how much knitting gets done in the car and, on the trip. But speaking of on the trip, apparently I'm incapable of going out of town and not starting a project. And I should just bring an extra pair of sock needles. Like, I should know this about myself by now. But as it is, we went to Knitty City, and they were having a trunk show for Jessica of Yarn Over New York,
which we didn't know about, but we're happy to happen upon it.
I knew they were doing trunk shows, but I wasn't really paying attention to when it was, and it just so happened that we went on the Saturday that they were doing the Indie Dyer trunk show.
Yeah, there was who was it? Woolen was also doing a trunk show on that
They were
Saturday.
Molly Girl, yeah.
But we had already pre-planned the trip on what we were doing on different days, and it just happened to be Knitty City hit on the day of the trunk show. We rearranged
our trip slightly.
Well, yeah,
we were going to go to the Met on a different day.
We did do some, there was some moving things around, but it just worked out. We hit the yarn, the trunk show.
So we'll talk about that in a second, and I have some video footage. But this is one of the yarns that I got from the trunk show. Or this is the yarn I got from the trunk show. I got more stuff from Knitty City. But I saw it and I said, well, we gotta have it because it is called the Nutcracker Suite. And we saw the Nutcracker performed by the New York City Ballet. And I thought it was perfect.
I have this color also, but it's a Christmas gift.
Yeah. So, we also met up with Mina of the Knitting Expat podcast. So I thought it would be perfect to use the yarn I bought in New York that corresponds to the show that we saw in New York and knit a pattern from a friend that we met in New York. So this is the Q Train Socks by Mina Phillip, the knitting expat. And I just thought it was perfect. This is the Staten Island Ferry base. I don't think I said that. $75.25. And I'm already past the heel.
Look how beautiful that's knitting up.
Yeah.
And here it is in the ball.
It is a challenge as a dyer to dye a variegated that doesn't pool. And this one does a fantastic job of doing that, like flashing, like y'all know what I'm talking about. Like it doesn't pool. And I think that's very much appreciated for sure. Because I'm not really one of those people who likes pooling. Unless it obviously stripes like it does with my burrow colorway. You can see it stripes up. Mm-hmm. Unless it does that, I really don't love pooling. So having one that knits up like this is really a treat for sure. And there's my s'mores hot chocolate from the Gnome Knitter, which is adorable. That's a stash acquisition this week.
You didn't tell me. Put that in the show.
No, I forgot about it. I
will have
ripped it open and threw it on my project immediately.
I will have to add that.
Yes. But it's not in stash section, but whatever.
I'm putting it in.
It's from the Gnome Knitter, and it's the s'mores hot chocolate charm. So that is my sock. And I love the idea. I know Amy of Stranded is doing the Christmas sock knit along, the festive sock along, I think. And I love the idea of having a set of like Christmas socks. So this will definitely go into that. I don't know if I need 25 of them. I might do 12 for the 12 days of Christmas.
That's a cute idea.
Yeah, and like a special box to keep them in, and you pull it out in December. And yeah, I just don't need 25 socks. Not Christmas socks.
Well, but, shoot for 12, and then you can always add to that.
Yeah, I think I already have 4. I think. And then I have a Christmas Eve cast on I'm going to show you in a second. So I really enjoy knitting this. The pattern is fantastic. It's from her New York sock collection, but now they're all available for individual sale because it's past the date that she had for individual sale. Come here, knitting project bag. So that, yeah, we wound up the ball in the hotel. You were the Swift and I was the ball winder.
I was the arms.
Yeah. So in the future, I should just bring an extra pair of sock needles because every time I go out of town, I buy a pair of needles almost. I did in Chicago, and I did in Dallas, of course.
That's not every time you go out of town, but I'd say a lot of the
time.
Yeah,
I usually buy,
because you find some beautiful yarn and you want to knit it up.
Yeah, well, it's like those, like I knit those socks whenever we were in Lincoln Center waiting for the ballet to start, so it has all that memory in it.
Sure.
So I had another pair, the God Rest You Merry Hippogriff socks. I had a whole pair, though. The pair I was working on, I just pulled it off, and I'm like, eh.
Well, you put it on waist yarn.
I didn't.
Or
did
I? Yeah, you did.
I think I did. Ordinarily, I wouldn't bother, but I was a little worried. But.
No. Ordinarily, you do bother. I don't know what you're saying.
No, I have plenty of projects that have live stitches.
Are you crazy? Really?
Probably. It's usually projects I don't care that much about. I do care about the God Rest You Merry Hippogriff socks. It's usually like I knit a toe, and I'm like, I'm not really feeling this, and I just pull it off, and I'm like, I'll come back to it. And never come back to it.
I can't have live stitches just laying around.
If a stitch drops, just pick it up.
I don't care. I can't. That's stressful. No.
Yeah.
No, can't do it.
I have one more finished the work in progress.
Well, go. What is it?
I started this 30 minutes ago whenever you were writing up the show notes because it is Christmas Eve and it is time for the Little Bobbins Knits. Is it LBK or just LB? Little Bobbins Knits or Not Knits Christmas Eve cast on.
I thought it was Little Bobbins Knits.
I'm not entirely sure. I've seen the hashtag, but I can't remember if it's LB or LBK. So this is my Christmas Eve cast on. I think I showed it last time. This is the Yule Ball colorway from London House Yarns. And this is her 80/20 base. And it came with a black mini for heels and toes. So this is what I have.
Wow.
There it is. And I already have my Harry Potter Progress Keeper. This one is the one with all the spells on it. But, yeah, it's Christmas Eve.
What is that, like maybe 2 rows, 3 rows of toe.
That is 4 rows.
Oh,
How dare you?
4 rows of a toe.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
counts has started.
Yeah, I'll work on it while you talk. If you don't have anything else to talk about. This is a Robin Rubens podcast today. I have so much stuff to show y'all. So that's my Christmas Eve cast on. After we finish,
I haven't started mine yet.
Yeah, well, you have your yarn caked up right there.
Yep.
But after we finish, we're probably going to go knit. I would like to watch a Christmas movie. Would you like to watch a Christmas movie?
Yes, I would.
I've been recording all of them. I watched, the best Christmas movie, I'm going to go on a tangent.
Okay, we disagree.
Is Muppets Christmas Carol.
No. It's a Wonderful Life.
I mean, Muppets Christmas Carol is a classic as opposed to It's a Wonderful Life, which is just...
No. It's a Wonderful Life.
There's just something about Muppets Christmas Carol.
No.
I've watched it 7 times this month because it's the best.
Nope.
I think it came out the year I was born. Maybe that's why I have like an emotional connection to it.
I have no idea when it
came out. 92 or 93. If it was 92, then that's why. But
okay, but you're entitled to your opinion, even though it's wrong.
Yeah. Your opinion is wrong.
I'm calling it as I see it. It's a Wonderful Life. Thank you.
I mean, it's okay.
Dropping the mic.
I have Nightmare Before Christmas, which I know you're not really a fan of.
It's okay.
I have Santa Claus, which apparently somebody was talking about how they rewatched it and it's not as good as they remember. It's a little cheesy.
It's very cheesy.
But
I think that's a standard for Christmas movies, though.
Yeah.
We
have Elf. That's a good one. Everybody likes Elf.
Yeah.
So, this bag from Fate's Thread. This is one of my favorite Harry Potter bags. I have a lot of Harry Potter bags. I have one from Lynn at Sunshine Bubblegum. I have one from Tiffany at Southern Sparrow. This one is another one that I really love. So, Harry Potter yarn must go in a Harry Potter bag. Otherwise, what else are you doing with your life?
That makes sense.
Because y'all know how I like to match. One of the few things that makes sense.
That you do. Yes.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life. Just putting it out there.
So I have some stash.
Yes, because any stash that I received in New York was Christmas presents. So even though I bought it myself, wrapped it myself,
it's still...
I will not show it until after Christmas.
I got some yarn as Christmas presents, but I did buy some that were not Christmas presents. So first, I ordered some yarn from my friend Holly at Hey Holly Ho Hum. And let me tell y'all, I don't know if y'all have never ordered from her before, she is a packaging master. It comes in a sparkly mailer and it's wrapped in sparkly paper, and she has a little sparkly satchel, and she puts her business card and some candies and stuff. Like it's like a treat to open her packages. It really is. So she has a talent for packaging. So I bought 2 skeins from her latest update. I believe she's in the middle of a move, so I think this was going to be her last update for a while. Either that or she just finished a move. I can't remember. But I bought 2 skeins. This one is her Christmas colorway. This is called Christmas Flannel, and it's on her 75-25% stellina base. And is it gold stellina? No, it's silver stellina. And it is gorgeous. Christmas flannel. Speckles.
Pretty.
And then this one I've had my eye on for a while, so I just went ahead and threw it in my cart. This one is called Hey Hey of Montanui, which is a Moana reference. It reminds me of like a sunset.
It does.
And it does look like the rooster from Moana.
It does look like a hay.
Yeah, so look at her tag. Her tags are so cute. She's one of my favorite indie dyers, and she's also a friend of mine, so she's amazing. How cute is that? So she also sent me some little goodies. She sent me a stash tee with her little otter on there, and some candies she usually sends, a little container of soak, which is the pineapple scent, which I've never used.
Oh, I didn't even know they did a pineapple.
Yeah. And then a packet of hot chocolate and a little snowflake progress keeper. How cute is that? I'll use it with my Christmas flannel colorway. And then she had stickers printed. I think this is her yarn. I'm not 100% sure, but I would
assume so.
Yeah. So stickers, because everybody likes stickers.
You know it.
And look how cute this is. She does scrappy packs, and she winds them onto bobbins like this. And so this one is an ornament with a mini skein on it. I'm not sure what colorway it is. It might just be a one of a kind or like just an end of something, but
cute.
Adorable. So thank you, Holly, for sending me a couple extras. And I love her yarn. I knit a pair of birthday socks out of her yarn either last year or the year before. So that is what I got from Holly. and then I will show y'all what I got in New York. So you want to talk about New York while we're rolling with this?
Sure.
Okay.
So,
Go for it.
oh, I'm going? Okay, so one of the days that we were there, we decided to hit the 2 yarn stores in Brooklyn.
You never been to Brooklyn?
I've been to New York. I think this was my 6th trip to New York, and I never made it over to Brooklyn. And Robin wanted to go hit Woolen and Brooklyn General. Mm-hmm. So we decided to go ahead and make it over there. It was a lot more walking than people had anticipated, and we had a little bit of a snowfall the night before. So
we got a little turned around in the subway.
Yeah,
and we got off and walked around in Astoria for a little bit. So
yeah, we headed the wrong way.
Yeah,
that was entirely my fault. I'm usually the person who navigates on the subway, but since the last time we were there, now everybody has phone apps that will tell you what you need to do. Unfortunately, they're not like step by step.
Well, they are, but you have to pay attention to which way you're going because it says get on the R train, which is easy enough, but you have to think in your head, are you going uptown or downtown?
Correct.
And thinking in our heads is not something that we're particularly good at sometimes.
Not 100% being aware of what is the geography of where is uptown, what is downtown. So we got on the correct train, but we went uptown, which is east towards Queens, when we wanted to go downtown, and then over to the east, which would be where Brooklyn is. Yeah. So we did get it straight, and we walked around, and we made it to Woolen, and that's a really cute store. And you're going to be inserting some footage here.
We're looking at it right now.
Okay. And they had, what I enjoyed about Woolen is they had a lot of indie dyers there.
Yeah, they had a lot of indie dyers in all the shops we went to.
Mm-hmm. And it was a really cute little store. And
they had spinning fiber, which is not always easy to find in a yarn store.
That is true.
They had a loop bump that Fabulous Fibers bump that I almost bought. But I didn't because I can't justify buying more fiber whenever I have so much and I don't spin that often. But I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of bummed I didn't get it, but it's okay.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. So you bought some yarn.
Yes.
Which we will show on the next episode once it gets opened for Christmas.
Yeah, it's a Christmas present.
Some of my yarn was Christmas presents and some of it wasn't. So I'm going to show y'all what was not Christmas presents. So this is the skein that I got from Woolen. So hopefully the video footage will finish playing so I can show it. This is Asylum Fibers. And it's one of the blacklight colorways. The lady at the shop showed under the blacklight what it looked like, and it looked really cool. So, not that I'm under a blacklight often, but, it's a novelty. It's fun.
What I really also enjoyed about how Woolen had their yarn set up is they had them marked if they were a New York dyer.
Mm-hmm. Local.
When I go out of town or when I go on a trip, I like to buy local dyers. And if possible, I like to buy indie dyed if possible. Yeah. And then I like to buy somebody who's local. And I really appreciated the fact that Woolen had their yarn labeled marked in terms of who was a local dyer. So that was appreciated.
Mm-hmm. So I think this is her Woolen exclusive colorway. This is called Under the Bridge. And it's on her twisted base, which is 80/20 merino and nylon. And I just fell in love with that green. It's like, matches my nail. I just really love that lime green. And there's purple speckles right there too.
Yep.
Yeah. So that is what I got at Woolen. And we did not plan it this way, but we were going to go to the Meow Parlor, and we didn't end up making it, but they had a cat cafe like less than a block from Woolen. So we spent some time at the Brooklyn Cat Cafe.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put that footage at the beginning, so you've probably already seen it. But that was really fun. They had rats, and they had turtles, and you could play with the rats. A lot of places you can, and that was really special for me because I used to have boys, and they don't live very long.
Well, she used to have
rats.
Boy rats.
Yeah. I call them the boys, but yeah, they don't live very long, but they're so sweet and they're so affectionate, and I miss them a lot. So it was nice to be able to play with the rats and the cats, but we have cats here at home.
Yeah, the cats were a lot of fun, though.
For sure.
They were very cute. They had quite a number, and I think you go in, you sign a release, and then I think it's $5 for every 30 minutes.
Yeah, which is very reasonably priced.
Yeah, so we sat there and we got our cat fix since our kitties were at home. And it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that was the day I had my black pants on.
Yeah, well, that's why they all came and sat on you, because they knew.
Yeah, I was okay with it.
Yeah. So from there, we headed to Brooklyn General, which was a lovely store. I really like the aesthetic. It was very very well thought out. It seemed like they had a very carefully curated selection of merchandise. It all kind of fit with their brand, which I really appreciate. Not that there's anything wrong with kind of doing a mishmash. But it's just an interesting.
I didn't realize it was half yarn and half fabric. Yeah, I didn't realize that. So that was kind of cool to see some of the really beautiful fabric.
Yeah, they had floor-to-ceiling yarn shelves. They had, I'm going to say this wrong, maybe. They had Ushida. Uschita.
I think that's how you say it. That's how hard it said, Ushida.
Yeah, she's really hard to find. As far like I've tried to find her before, and it's difficult. I think she's in the Netherlands. She's in Europe. She may not be in the Netherlands, but I want to say that's where she is. But her yarn's hard to find, so I got a couple skeins of that I'm going to unwrap tomorrow.
Yep.
But that was my must-get yarn from Brooklyn General. That's pretty much the reason why we went. But they also had Wool and Boon. They had Life in the Long Grass. They had, who else?
Oh, I don't remember.
Magpie Fibers.
I forgot to show this.
Oh, you have the...
Yeah.
Oh, you had the bags.
I saved this and I forgot. So, this is the bag
for Woolen.
From Woolen. So, that's their cute little logo. And then this is a little bag from Brooklyn General. Love is in the Making, which I think is very cute.
Yeah. They had enamel pins and all kind of
different... yeah. They had a lot of really cute things that were not just...
notions.
Yeah.
Not just yarn. They had a lot of cool notions.
Yeah. And we picked up a bag there.
Mm-hmm. A bag that we're going to use for our giveaway. Oh, we didn't talk about that.
We can talk about that at the very end.
Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, it was a very nice store.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pop the footage in here. Hopefully you've seen it. I don't really need to keep saying that, but I do. Just to remind myself to put it in here.
I don't think you'll forget.
Yeah. So the last yarn store we went to, we were going to hit 6, right?
Originally, Robin wanted to hit 6, which would be very unfair to the other two people we were traveling with. So we cut it down to 3.
Yeah.
And we didn't go see some really great yarn stores, but
we didn't make it to Pearl Soho.
Sometimes you have to set your priorities.
Next time.
So the last yarn shop we went to was Nitty City, and Robin got a bag.
This was my first time there, so they gave me a fancy bag.
Yeah, I already have a bag.
Yeah. So that is where they were having the trunk show for Yarn Over New York. And
that was my favorite yarn store.
That's probably my favorite one too. They had Nooch yarns. They had all kind of yarns. But
it's really a nice store. It's compact, but they have a lot of good stuff in there.
It was packed.
They also were very busy.
Yes, and there was a lady with a puppy in a backpack, and the puppy was getting his yarn shopping on. So that really kind of made my day. That was super cute. He was a little schnauzer puppy. So I bought the yarn from Yarn Over New York that I knit my socks with. And then I also bought 3 more skeins. This is from Yoshi and Lucy, who has the cutest label. Denise, your label is adorable. I think she watches sometimes, so adorable. Named after her kitties. And this is the Isabel base, and the colorway is Graffiti. And look at those speckles. Look at them.
Very pretty.
Very pretty. So probably going to be socks. Just like the Asylum Fibers is probably going to be socks if I don't hit myself in the face with it. And then y'all know how I feel about hedgehog. There is no place to get hedgehog locally that we know of. So I may have gotten some hedgehog.
You got to get it when you see it.
Yeah. So these are the Skinny Singles, which is my favorite hedgehog fibers base because I usually use hedgehog for
shawls.
Yes, thank you, shawls. So this is one of my bucket list colorways from them. It's Pesto because I am a huge fan of this green. So this one is Pesto, and then this one is called Cheeky, which is almost a little bit like Teacup, if y'all are familiar with Hedgehog Fibers colorways. It's kind of like Teacup, but a little bit pinker, I think. So I thought they'd be nice together. Maybe in a brioche project. Or maybe even in like a 2-color something.
Yeah.
Or maybe with like a black. Like a 3-color something with a black, maybe.
Yeah, that could work too.
So that is the haul from New York. Relatively restrained.
Well, if you're not counting what's Christmas.
Well, I only have 3 Christmas skeins.
Okay.
So, relative, for me, it's restrained.
Sure.
But compared to like going somewhere like DFW where I kind of load up, but there's a lot more people represented at DFW anyway. But we had a great time.
We did. We you mentioned earlier, we got to meet Mina.
Yeah.
And we got to meet Layla, who was absolutely adorable.
So cute.
There were a couple of people who messaged us and wanted to get together with us while we were in town, but by the time we had got their message, we had already had pretty firm plans and weren't able to change them.
Well, that and it was a family trip, so it's really not fair to drag people around or say, "Hey, go fend for yourselves," because Dad and Sid aren't super good at fending for themselves.
No, I think they're fine fending for themselves.
They're not so good at navigating as we are.
And so, like the day that we went over to Nitty City, we parked them at the Met.
Yeah,
like literally stopped them in front of the Met, said you go in there, and then we're catching a bus cross town.
Yeah.
The day that we met up with Mina was supposed to have been the day we went to the Met. So it was something that where we had planned that they had an activity that they wanted to do while we go did something else.
Yeah.
But it was we're not able to do that the whole trip to meet up with other people. And so we were extremely disappointed that we didn't get to meet up with them, but hopefully we will get to do so in the future.
We'll be going again.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a little birdie told me we might be making it to Rhinebeck.
We're not maybe making it. We're definitely going to Rhinebeck.
So apparently that is the place to see and be seen. So
I don't care about being seen. I care about seeing.
Yeah.
I'm all about the sea.
The knitters about town.
Yes.
So that is the recap of our New York trip for the most part, huh?
Yeah, we had a good time. There was a little bit of snow. We saw Cats while we were there.
Cats was amazing.
And
I love Cats.
Were able to go see the Nutcracker with the New York City Ballet, which was fun too. And we got our eat on, had lots of great desserts. I got some of my matzo ball soup, which made me extremely happy.
We got to find a good recipe for that.
I've looked up recipes. I have a recipe.
It's so labor intensive.
I just didn't realize it was as labor intensive as it is. My mother-in-law used to make wonderful matzo ball soup, and I used to love it. And I haven't had it since she passed. And so when we went to Junior's and I saw it on the menu, I'm like, I've got to have this. And oh, so good.
We had some cheesecake.
Yes.
We had some John's pizza.
We had our New York pizza.
We ate at the Olive Garden more than once because my brother's a little bit picky and it was really convenient.
It was literally across the street from the hotel.
But you know what? You adjust your habits to who is with you on the trip.
Yep.
It's not where I would have chosen to eat if I was on the trip by myself, but I wasn't. And you got to make compromises.
That is how you do when you travel with family.
Yeah. So we have a question. We ready to move on?
Yep. So the next question that we have to ask, Robin kind of alluded to it earlier in one of her works in progress, is are you going to participate in the Christmas Eve cast-on that was made popular by Little Bobbin's Knits? Yeah. And if so, let us see what you're knitting.
Yeah.
Robin talked about it earlier. This is what I'm going to cast on. This is some yarn over New York yarn that I bought on the trip, and the colorway is, I don't know if you can see it.
I love Christmas.
I love Christmas
in New York.
So this is what I will be casting on.
Is it the same base?
It is the Times Square sock.
Oh, that's a different base.
It's 75-25.
I think mine was too, but it's a different name. Maybe it's just a different construction or something.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is what I'll be casting on later this evening. I'll be doing a pair of socks. I will probably just do a contrast heel. I'm not sure about doing a toe.
Do you need yarn? Because I have some minis we can pick through.
Possibly. But anyway, so if you're going to participate in that, what are you knitting? You know, I know traditionally it's socks, but I've done it in the past and it hasn't been socks. So why don't you put a picture in the thread and let us know what you're knitting.
Let me ask you this that just occurred to me. Last year we did our New Year's frog.
Yeah.
Are we going to do that again?
I don't have anything to frog.
Oh, okay.
Do you?
I don't think so. But the Rav Olympics are coming up. Oh, sorry, the Rav Olympics. I always say Rav Olympics because I'm so used to saying Rav Olympics. Yeah. But they have a frogging event. So if I have anything to frog, maybe I'll just save it
for that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you participate in the Ravelinics. I've done it pretty much every year since I joined Ravelry. That is coming up. I think the Olympics start February 3rd, something like that. And I've noticed that they do have the threads up for the different teams and a lot of the groups. I'm going to be on Team TARDIS again this year. But I did see that there's another group. A part of me wants to be join also another group, but I'm not sure if I really want to split myself between two.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't decided. I'm definitely doing Team TARDIS because I've already committed to that. But it is a very fun thing to do. If you are interested, just go. If you don't know where the thread is, I will link to it in the show notes. But it's fun. It's coming up. I don't think they have the events posted yet, but in the past they pretty much have had something for anything that you can knit, as well as I think
crochet.
Yeah,
because I did crochet last year.
They have some crocheting things. They, in the past they've also had some spinning events. Yeah. At one point they did a designing event, but I don't know if they continue to do that. But it's really cute the way they do it. It's you know, they name it after an event in the Olympics, so it might be something like shawl skating and cowl curling or something like that. So it's really cute. And so if you're interested, I'll put the link for that in the show notes. But that is coming up. Yep, I think that's it for that. Yeah. I think that's all.
I got something to say.
Oh, what?
We have hit 1,000 subscribers, which, like, oh my God.
We are so amazed and thankful.
Yeah.
Every one of you.
It made my day. Like, it made my Christmas. Like, it's the best Christmas present. Like, I can't believe it. I really can't. And I mean, just thank you if you're a subscriber, if you watch. Like, it's just ridiculously crazy, amazing. We are putting a giveaway together. I am thinking about doing a custom colorway. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing, but I'm going to get some little pieces together and we're going to make like a bundle.
Yeah, and we will show what we're giving away on the next podcast.
Yes.
We did buy a really cute bag from Fringe Supply.
Yeah, it's not a Fringe Field bag, so don't get excited.
No,
don't get too excited.
It's not a Fringe Field bag, but it is made by them.
Yeah.
So, and then we have some goodies to put in it, and so I think you'll be happy when you see it if you're interested. And we'll have more information about how to enter that giveaway on the next podcast.
Yeah, the first podcast in January. That's also whenever we're going to do our yearly recap. Just because we're not quite done with the year yet.
Yeah,
so
well,
we may knit some more.
Not May. I'm casting on in a little bit.
Yeah, so we're going to do our recap in the next episode. Also, so we have time to get stuff together because it's been ridiculously crazy.
Well, end of the year is nuts, and then we go away for Christmas, and
then we go away for Christmas. Then we go visit family, and and
then we're leaving to go to Houston to visit mom and my sister, and So
I just want to do a public apology if you've sent me a message or something in the past couple of days. Like, I tried to take some time off of dyeing. I couldn't because I want to keep on top of stuff, but like it's just there's so much going on. So I'm sorry if it took me a while to get back to you. That's just kind of how it is this time of year, especially with all the trips and the. This holiday that comes every year apparently, surprises me every year.
Sometimes it sneaks up on you and sometimes it doesn't.
So, we'll show the prize on the next episode.
But we do appreciate it. We were
sure.
So excited to hit 1,000 subscribers and want to thank every one of you for watching and coming back every podcast.
Yeah, this is going to be a long episode, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
But we're almost done.
Yep. You just have shop update.
Yes. So the shop is not closed right now, but it will be once we finish filming. It has been open since we got back from New York on Monday. Yeah. Ooh, that's not very much time, is it? So I'm going to close it again because we're about to go back out of town. I will reopen it the first week of January. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it January 1st or if I'm going to do it on the 5th whenever my update is. But the 5th of January will be a Harry Potter exclusive update. And not exclusively Harry Potter. There's going to be a couple other non-Harry Potter things, but mostly Harry Potter. There's going to be at least 2 new colorways that I know of, along with the release of the Poffle of Puff Skeins colorway, which was the September Harry Potter Club colorway, which was a very popular one. So I will make sure to have a good number of those skeins ready to go in the shop. The January clubs are posted right now. On the 1st, I will take those down and put up the February clubs. I can't remember if I mentioned this last time, but I will not be able to offer a 3-month club subscription anymore. The way that Etsy runs is I was having to do everything manually, and towards the end for the last month, it would not let me purchase shipping labels online for those customers who purchased the 3-month subscription. So I was having to do that manually, write it all out, and then it's more expensive to ship it without going through Etsy. And that didn't transfer the customer. I just, it's not a big deal. But that's why I decided not to continue with that.
Well, it's just, it's kind of a nightmare in terms of bookkeeping, trying to keep straight just because of the way Etsy does it.
Yeah, it's totally Etsy's limitations. I know it's more convenient, and I've had a lot of people tell me that they were disappointed that I didn't have it, so I am sorry. I am looking to move off of Etsy, so if anyone has any experience with that, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm looking at Shopify or Store Envy or Big Cartel. I'm kind of like exploring my options, but it is kind of nerve-wracking, to move out, moving out on your own. But it's time. It really is. So that's one of my New Year's resolutions to look at in the new year. But I will go ahead and show y'all the Harry Potter Club colorway for this month. They're doing some funny things with some packages. So if you have not received your December Harry Potter Club, look away now because I'm about to show it. So here we go.
I love this.
This is the December Harry Potter Club colorway. Let me take off the band so you can see it. So it is called Weasley Christmas Jumper. There it is, Weasley Christmas Jumper. And this one is on Sparkle. This is my personal skein because the Stellina, I don't know if you can see, the Stellina picked up the red. So the silver Stellina is dyed red. There it is, look at that. Which must just, I have a bunch of different red dyes, and this must just be the saturation of the particular dye that I used. It sucked up into the Stellina, which is amazing. So, isn't that cool?
Yeah, but it didn't do it for all the Stellina.
It didn't do it for all the Stellina.
It only did it in the red section.
In the red section, yeah. It's just that one particular dye. Like, the acidity must have been just right, or the dye, or the pigmentation.
So if you look at it in the green or the gold, it's still the silver Stellina. But if you look at it in the red, it's red Stellina. Red Stellina.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, it's green in the green.
It's like yellow, kind of.
Yeah, but that is cool.
Yeah, it's really,
Look how beautiful that is.
I've been dyeing for, 2 or 3 years, and you learn something new. Your dyes will surprise you. That's my number one tip for new dyers is learn your dyes. Because they will do funny things, different temperatures, different acid weights, combining them different ways they react like.
And that's also something that people need to understand about hand dyes is that you can have the same fiber in the same dye bath and them all come out a little different. And then if you have multiple types of fiber in the same dye bath, they're going to soak up the dye different.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you'll get 2 different dye lots. They'll look very different. Sometimes in the same dye lot, they look different. And it's very hard to duplicate exactly the same look in each skein. Yeah. So, sometimes people will be disappointed because they don't look the same, but that's just the nature of hand-dyed yarns.
That is one benefit to buying it in person.
Yes, absolutely.
Sure. I am actually, I'm not 100% sure if I'm cleared to say what shows I'm vending at next year, so I'm not going to. I'm going to double check my contracts on that because I am vending at least 3 shows that I've heard back from for sure. So I will announce that next time if I can find the information. I just want to make sure I don't announce anything before they let me say anything. But anyway, this is the Harry Potter Club. I love the yellow.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I also have a little Harry Potter fun fact for y'all that people may not realize because I'm a book purist. In the book, the only characters that had their initial on the front of their hand-knitted Weasley sweater were Fred and George. And in the movie, they changed it so that Ron had an R and Harry had an H or, whoever. But in the book, only Fred and George had their initials so they could tell their sweaters apart. So if your Weasley sweater has a letter on it, then it's not a true book Weasley sweater.
Unless
you're Fred or George. Yeah. So, I just thought that was funny. I actually didn't remember that. But I realized it as I was rereading the first book. Because she makes a point to say, oh, Fred and George had their letters on their sweaters.
Yeah, when they opened up the Christmas presents.
Yeah. Yeah, the quote I used, like, oh, I love Harry Potter so much. Y'all know I love Harry Potter. And, like, Molly Weasley is amazing. Like, this child that she's never met, like, she just, like, takes him as her own. And she makes him his own sweater. And she gives him, like, homemade fudge. And she knows he doesn't get Christmas presents. And
well, it's such a different life than what he's been used to.
Yeah, I have so many feelings about Harry Potter. But this one, people really responded well to this colorway and this quote. And I think a couple people are doing them for their Christmas Eve cast-ons.
Oh, cool.
So thank you if you're doing that. That's really an honor. So really love that colorway. This is the first colorway that will not be available in 3 months because it is a Christmas colorway. I'm going to save it and re-release it again next Christmas. So if you like it, you can get it next Christmas, but you're going to have to wait a whole year.
Yeah, well, it won't be a whole year. You'll probably release it, maybe September?
Maybe, September, October. Yeah. But that is the colorway for this month. January clubs are up. February clubs will go up on January 1st. If you have any questions about how it works, I do have a FAQ section on my website, which is teenybuttonstudio.com. And also, I answer a lot of questions in the actual listing itself. And if you have any other questions, just contact me on Etsy. I don't know if it's the way I phrased it or that it's a little bit different than some clubs, but some people have questions. But it is month to month, and you do pick your own base, and it does ship in the middle of the month. So that's kind of the gist. But it's really the most fun I have dyeing every month. It's really, it's just, I love Harry Potter, and it's so special to me that everybody else loves Harry Potter so much too. So
yeah, that is true.
Yes. So enough Harry Potter waffling on. I think that's all we have.
I think you're right.
So we will be coming at you again in 2 weeks, give or take, and we're going to have some end of the year stats. Come tell us what you're casting on if you did the Christmas Eve cast on. I think that'd be fun to talk about. And we will see you next time.
And again, thank you to all those subscribers. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing.
And we will see y'all next time.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas. Bye, guys.
Bye.